Every NBA player's rise to fame is unique in its own way, and as quick as they actually become a household name, they can have it wiped away just as fast. As NBA players continue to get more and more popular, some even on the same tier as celebrities, the more cautious and self-aware NBA players need to be about what they do, what they post on their social media, and even what they wear. One questionable decision and you're getting canceled by the entire NBA world. These are NBA players who lost millions of fans in seconds. Before we get into the video, if you want to win a PS5 with NBA 2K22 and Madden NFL 22 included, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to enter the giveaway. Durant is currently one of the most hated players in the league, and for many reasons. His personality and the fact that KD never knows when to shut up, whether it's during an interview, a press conference, or going after a fan, KD just doesn't stop. But there's one particular move KD made that didn't just lose him millions of fans, it lost him respect in the league. Even his family lost respect for him. It seems like it was a century ago when you think about it now, but there was a time when KD was the man in OKC for 8 years, but all that love and respect quickly turned to despair after he decided to leave Oklahoma and join the Warriors, who were the most hated team in the league at the time. Well, that's KD, never shying from controversy. Thunder fans had a very special relationship with Durant, so it was really painful to see him leave. They watched him grow from a baby-faced youngster to an assassin and a league MVP. They endured the same playoff disappointments and injury setbacks together every year, like in 2016 when OKC blew a 3-1 lead against the Warriors, the team that Durant later on joined in the offseason. Thunder fans believed that they had KD for life, and as long as they had that, they were hopeful they would have another chance in the next year's playoffs and beat the team that had disrespected them in the Western Conference Finals. What they didn't see coming was KD joining the Warriors instead. In fact, if you had asked a Thunder fan in 2016 if that was possible, they would have sworn on their parents' life that it wasn't and would probably bet their life savings on it. The pain wasn't that he left, it was who he went to. The NBA world couldn't believe that Durant would leave Oklahoma to join a team that had just beat him in the finals and were just coming off a 73-win campaign. KD was already one of the best players in the league, and he didn't just join any team, he joined the best team in the league. It was like cheating on your girl with her best friend. That's exactly what KD did, man. Despite all the good times they had in those 8 years, Thunder fans could not forgive KD for leaving to join their biggest rivals. With KD on that Warriors team, the Warriors got 10 times stronger while the Thunder got a million times weaker. Even to this day, people blame KD for ruining the future of the league. And just like LeBron, KD's move to the Warriors gave rise to the birth of super teams. You know, the crazy thing about all this is that KD didn't even tell Westbrook about the move before it was known to the world. Imagine finding out through social media that your teammate and probably best friend would be joining your rivals. Yeah, that must have been painful, man. Paul George and the Pacers had a special relationship that lasted for 7 years, and like all good things, it came to an end in the summer of 2017 when Paul George told the front office that he wanted to leave. He reportedly told them that it was either they traded him and got a chance to rebuild in the process, or they lost him for free in the summer. Either way, he let them know that he was leaving nonetheless. Paul George's relationship with the Indiana Pacers is proof of how everything could go bad in a quick second. Paul George is an exceptional talent, but he's never exactly had the chance to prove that he was among the best of the best, or win a chip during his time with the Pacers. Maybe that's because every time he got to the playoffs, there was always a LeBron James waiting to whoop his sorry ass and send him packing. That aside, when the breakup happened, many Indiana fans saw it coming, but they had hoped it would be a better farewell. But of course, that didn't happen. The Pacers and George shared a deep relationship. They knew his idol was Kobe Bryant and knew that was the reason why he wore number 24 for the Pacers. They knew he loved to fish, and many of the fans grew up watching him play, taking them to back-to-back Eastern Conference Final appearances, but once he decided to leave, all that history they had together turned sour. But you can't blame them, man. The Pacers were not going to win anything with the players they had, or even get to the playoffs to begin with. The Pacers had crashed, and Paul George was the only part left of the vehicle. Many fans knew he wanted to go and play for the Lakers, but that didn't happen, so he ended up signing with OKC, having the opportunity to play alongside Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. Perhaps what upset fans was that he was quiet when he left. No post of appreciation or anything except the one Instagram post he made. I don't know, man. Maybe win a ring for your city first? Kyrie Irving is without a doubt one of the best players in the league, but when it comes to controversies, there's nobody in the NBA that comes close to Kyrie. Irving is probably the only player on this list that has lost millions of fans on several occasions, but nothing compares to his decision to leave the Boston Celtics. Kyrie Irving first left the Cavs by forcefully demanding a trade, not requesting it, but demanding it, basically saying he didn't want to play alongside LeBron anymore. This was a complete shocker for everyone, including Cavs fans fans, because how does anyone in their right senses say they don't want to play with the best player in the world who will guarantee you a chance to win a chip? Well, I guess not Kyrie. When Kyrie got to Boston, there were genuine hopes among the fans and in the city that the arrival of one of the brightest basketball talents in the NBA would take them back to their glory days. After all, the Celtics still have the most championships in NBA history, but when Kyrie got to Boston, he did not only make the team worse, his attitude on and off the court continued to add salt to their playoff wounds. He didn't show up in the big games and never for once took the blame for the team's failures. Instead, he always found a way to shift the blame to his teammates. But what ultimately lost him all as Celtic fans was when he lied to everyone and made them believe he was staying in Boston. That was the last straw. Kyrie was asked during the franchise's annual fan appreciation night if he was going to extend his contract, to which he replied, "It's quite important. I've shared it with some of my teammates as well as the organization and everyone else in Boston. If you guys would have me back, I plan on re-signing here next year." The whole stadium went crazy and he even got a standing ovation, but just over a year later, Kyrie's trade rumors became more than just rumors. News came out that Kyrie wasn't going to stay in Boston any longer and that he had already agreed to a 4-year contract with the Brooklyn Nets worth over $141 million. He would be joining Kevin Durant and Harden on an experiment project the Nets have been working on for a long time to get where they are today. There are many reasons why Irving lost all the fans that loved him dearly in Boston. First, he never bonded with the team, and his criticism about everyone else but himself was another reason. And they never forgave him for that promise he made to partially quiet down the rumors of him planning a team up with KD, which was eventually true. Dwayne Wade will go down as one of the best shooting guards of his generation, and maybe the best player to play for the Miami Heat. No matter what anyone says over the bitter separation that happened between the two, Wade is the Heat, and that's final. Wade spent 13 years of his career in Miami, winning 3 championships before it all came to an end in the summer of 2016. Wade was in free agency and coming close to the end of his career. He needed a big contract, but the Heat were not ready to commit that kind of money on him. Wade kind of just felt like he was being disrespected, and the silence from Pat Riley just made it worse. This caused D-Wade to feel like he wasn't needed or wanted from the Heat, so he decided he wanted out and found himself in Chicago, then later at Cleveland with his best friend LeBron. Both stints didn't exactly work out for him, but let's admit it, he never looked okay in any other uniform anyway. However, he had ruined his reputation in Miami, and many fans were not happy with it, so much so that when he stepped out to play against Miami or was anywhere in Miami, fans greeted him with boos and called him a money whore. That must have been tough, man. To get that kind of rep after all you've done for the team, just sad. For the last 2 decades, LeBron has been the face of the NBA. His athleticism and amazing talent has seen him become the best player of his generation and arguably the best player to ever play the game. So you would think the most influential player in the league is the most loved player, but nah. He would have had that title if he hadn't made this one decision that would end up changing the NBA world forever. We go way back to 2010 when one of the biggest betrayals in the world of sports had just happened. Everything was looking great. Cleveland fans adored LeBron to the point where they literally worshipped him and were looking forward to next season. But all that love quickly became despair and hate. But the problem wasn't just that he left Cleveland, it was how he left that left most fans disgusted. LeBron James decided to announce his future on an ESPN special that was branded as The Decision. Typical LeBron making everything about him. Imagine being a Cleveland fan and having to sit through a 1-hour show filled with unnecessary conversations and talks, only for John Kerfoot to later ask him the question of the century in the last seconds of the show. "LeBron, what is your decision?" To which his self-absorbed LeBron answered, "This fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat." Wow, man, just imagine being a Cavs fan at the time. Heartbreaking. At that particular moment, LeBron didn't just become one of the most hated players in NBA history, he became public enemy number 1. Players leave via free agency every time, so if LeBron believed that Cleveland were not doing enough to win him a championship, many people wouldn't have had a problem with it. But the way LeBron arrogantly placed himself on center stage and announced the decision was too much to bear. I mean, come on, man, you didn't have to shove the decision in everyone's faces. To make matters worse, he didn't just move to any team, he moved to one of the most hated NBA teams in the NBA at the time. And not to forget that they painted a giant target on their backs when they hosted a rock concert-like show during which LeBron came on stage in full uniform with music pumping and flashlights as if he was telling everyone, "I moved on and y'all can't do shit about it." The next thing that followed was Cleveland fans burning his jersey jersey, calling him names on social media, and praying the season ended bitterly for him. There were tears, shouts, and bitterness from Cleveland fans. It was like they had lost a member of their family. It was bad, man, super bad. Trust me, man, the hate was massive, and Cleveland did their best to make sure LeBron was painted as the bad guy and became public enemy number one. When LeBron returned to Cleveland in a Miami uniform, it was nothing like anyone had ever seen before. There were banners, pictures, calling him all sorts of names. Even though LeBron didn't win the title with the Cavs in his first stint with the franchise, he still fulfilled his promise of coming back to Cleveland to eventually win a chip with them, but even after that, many Cleveland fans never forgave him. You know, I'm sure many of these players felt disrespected by the entire NBA world after making these decisions, but you know what's worse than getting disrespected by the NBA world? Getting disrespected by Stephen Curry. The guy humiliated an NBA player so bad that he ended up sending him on vacation. Another player's ankles got shattered, and disrespected so hard he ended up going to the hospital. He even made another player cry. Curry really made another grown man cry, bro. It's ridiculous. Don't lie to me, man. I know you want to hear more about that, so click this video right here. These are 8 times Stephen Curry disrespected NBA players. So bro, what are you still doing here? Click it.